Imagine you are sprinting through dense brush, hunted by an apex predator. Your only objective is to survive the next 10 seconds. Now, compare that visceral terror to the knot in your stomach when you receive a vague, late-night email from your boss. In this schematic of the human brain, we can see why both events feel the same. The brain's primal survival code does not recognize intermediate states. When it perceives a threat, whether a tiger or a looming deadline, the amygdala slashes a harsh red. This triggers the hypothalamus to release cortisol to prepare you for a fight. Watch how the cortisol behaves in a modern context. A predator attack ends quickly, but a workplace issue persists. Because the threat remains unsettled, these red cortisol particles multiply, creating a toxic, continuous flood into the bloodstream. We can manually turn down this chemical alarm. In the next 5 minutes, we will walk through a specific neuroscience-backed protocol to take control of the amygdala. First, prepare your environment. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and mentally single out one specific current stressor you're facing right now. Effectively managing modern stress requires a manual override of the brain's ancient survival hardware. Clearly name the stressor you chose. Identify if you've been trying to dismiss it using purely logical phrases like, "It's not that bad," or "It's out of my hands anyway." These rationalizations fail to lower your stress because words alone do not possess the power to alter deep-seated brain activity. As shown here, when the amygdala is locked in a high-alert threat mode, it is effectively immune to logical reasoning. The facts and figures you tell yourself simply bounce right off the structure. To gain control over the panic response, we have to move past intellect and engage with a specific emotional experience. True regulation happens when we acknowledge that logic cannot reach the subcortical alarm center. We must find another way in. Step 2 requires a specific memory. Think back to a past threatening or stressful event in your life that definitively resulted in a positive outcome. This memory must be of a fully resolved situation. Focusing on an ongoing problem will only trigger another spike in panic. Re-experiencing a successfully resolved threat constructs a two-way street of data in the brain. It connects the logical frontal cortex directly to the emotional subcortex. Immerse yourself in that specific memory until you feel a physical sense of relief. As the diagram shows, this feeling corresponds with regulatory information flowing downward to quiet the alarm center. The pulsing light from the cortex stabilizes the amygdala's activity. By connecting to a past victory, you have built the biological infrastructure required to send manual override commands to your brain. Step 3 requires you to look back at your current stressor. Rationally rate its severity on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 means immediate physical destruction. Your brain reacts at a 10. However, most professional challenges genuinely sit at 3 or 4. Close your eyes and clearly visualize this object, a heavy metallic industrial dial. Currently, it is jammed at the maximum threat level, backlit by a harsh red warning light. Raise your hand in the air. Grasp the imaginary dial and slowly rotate it downward to the rational number you chose, the 3 or the 4. As you rotate the dial, visualize the internal threat level dropping. Your body's energy begins to lower to match the true rational scale of the problem. Recalibrating the threat level allows you to address the problem with the specific amount of energy it actually requires. Open your eyes. Do a quick physical check-in. Notice the depth of your breathing and the rhythm of your heart rate. The external situation remains the same. However, your internal physiological state has shifted. Because the brain is no longer treating the situation as a literal extinction event, the toxic flood of cortisol has been halted. Bookmark this protocol. Return to these steps whenever you feel a primal panic response beginning to override a modern stressor. Using the fear regulation switch provides a practical way to maintain mental clarity when the ancient brain attempts to sound a false alarm.